Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. And I'm not 100% over my cold or sickness or whatever you want to call it. I'm getting there. I do feel myself getting better. So, hopefully I'll be back to my normal voice soon. But just now, my friends and I were playing. We were playing some NBA 2K. And, you'll see in this game, we struggled. Like, we weren't our usual selves, and like the offense was off, the defense was off. We were just it was one of those nights where the ball, like as they say in the NBA, the ball just wasn't bouncing your way. The rebounds weren't bouncing your way, the loose balls weren't bouncing your way, and we just had an overall like pretty shitty night of gaming. To put it bluntly, we were, like I said, it's just 2K was sneaking us. Hopped on Fortnite. Fortnite decided to snake us also, and just an overall shit night in gaming. But today, in this commentary, in this video, I wanted to talk about why LeBron shouldn't leave Cleveland. Now, obviously, he is in a contract year. His contract will be ending this year. And starting next year, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent. So that means, he can go to whichever team that he wants to go to. And, bottom line, I don't think he should leave Cleveland just because, he said that he's chasing the ghost of Chicago and, whatever, this and that. Obviously being Michael Jordan. And, as he's chasing, somebody else. But, he said he's chasing the ghost of Chicago. And I feel like if he leaves to go to another team that's a contender, I feel like he's gonna, be seen as a ring chaser. And that's not good for his brand. That's not good for his legacy. I feel like that's just not good at all. So, even if he does leave, I feel, he's still going to be called a ring chaser. And it's just I don't, that label isn't something that's, positive in my mind. You're just hopping from team to team just so you could win rings. And, you're basically going for easy rings. And, even though Kevin Durant made that move last off season, and that move potentially prevents LeBron from adding anything any more championships to his legacy. But I mean, at the end of the day, in a lot of people's eyes, he's seen as the second greatest player of all time if you think about it. But see, it's if Kevin Durant didn't make that, that's why I say Kevin Durant single-handedly not ruined, but he put a lock on LeBron's legacy, because if we're being real, unless Paul George goes with him to Cleveland, or DeMarcus Cousins, or one of these top tier superstars, I mean, if we're being honest right now, the Cavs aren't they're not as good as Golden State, and I feel it's just gonna be I hate seeing LeBron lose, and it's just not a good thing. He's widely considered, like I said, the second greatest player of all time in some people's eyes. And I just don't like seeing the guy lose. But I feel that if he does leave, like I said, he shouldn't. But I feel that if he does leave, he should just, hold the label, just accept the label that, he's chasing rings and stuff like that. And I feel like he should go to San Antonio, and he should bring Paul George with him. Because Paul George, obviously, he's in a contract year with the Oklahoma City Thunder. His contract's going to be expiring, and then he'll be an unrestricted free agent, so he can go wherever he wants. People were talking about LA, because, that's where he's from, apparently. But I think all those bricks that he threw up in the 3-point contest, he got 9 points or something like that. I think all those bricks that he threw up, I don't even think LA wants him anymore. But, I mean, in all honesty, I'm pretty sure LA would take, a player of his caliber because, he is, he's been a superstar in the league. Obviously, he had that really bad injury, and then he came back. And I don't want to say he's been the same, like, caliber of a player, but, he's definitely above average. I still consider him a superstar. So, I feel like if LeBron does leave, he should go to San Antonio and bring Paul George. And then there was also that there's an article floating around during All-Star weekend. LeBron was looking at private schools in the Philly area. So, now there's the whole, like, trust the process thing with the 76ers and, up-and-coming stars in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. So, like, I don't feel like this would be a good move for him because, like, him and Ben Simmons, they basically do the same thing. They both facilitate, they both drive a lot. They're not necessarily, like, knockdown shooters. LeBron has a jumper. Ben Simmons doesn't have a jumper yet, but if he does develop a jumper, I feel like he's going to be a really, like, he's going to be nasty. But, like, you can't really have two LeBrons on one team because LeBron, he kind of needs the basketball to, like, draw in the defense and, like, pass the ball and whatever. And so, because, a lot of times he's playing the one and, he has the ball a lot. But with those, like, with the San Antonio team, if that happens and, he brings Paul George, I think they take the Warriors out in 6 games. Because you're talking about, I'm not sure who their point guard is. They probably start Murray or Patty Mills. And then depending on if Kawhi stays or not, then, you would play, like, Kawhi at the 2. LeBron will play, Paul George will probably play the 3. And then you can interchange them. LeBron could play the 4, and then they'll play Aldridge at the 5. So, you're talking about 4 All-Stars. And then, you're basically matching Golden State. It's 4 All-Stars against 4 All-Stars. But if something like that happens, I feel like just, like, the greatness of Kawhi and Paul George. I feel like Kawhi can guard Kevin Durant, and then Paul George. He's a really versatile defender. I picked him for my Defensive Player of the Year this year because he's averaging 2.2 steals. So if he can keep something like that up, then who knows. But I feel like they take the Warriors out in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. And, if we're being real, nobody in the East, if San Antonio with LeBron comes out of the West, nobody in the East, I feel like, is going to challenge them. And I feel like LeBron's going to get his 4th ring and then, possibly his 5th and maybe his 6th ring if he decides to stay. Next best option I see is Houston with Chris Paul and James Harden. And, same deal with San Antonio. I feel like you'd have one less All-Star. But I still see the same deal with, taking them out in 6 games in the Western Conference Finals. And, like I said, nobody in the East is going to have a chance against these guys. But as much as a LeBron fan that I am, I do have one criticism. And I feel like, and I don't know, he wants max contracts and he wants to win rings. And I feel like, you can't really have both. Because, don't get me wrong, he's worth the money. But at this point in his career, I think he just wants money more than he wants rings. Because look at one of the most humble superstars of all time, a man named Tim Duncan. He took pay cuts for, almost all of his career. And okay, no, that's a lie. He took pay cuts in the final quarter of his career to put his team in a winning position. And LeBron just wants max contracts. And like I said, in today's NBA, you can't have both. You have to be willing to take a pay cut to win some rings. And taking max contracts and getting a lot of rings don't go together. It's either one or the other. But that's pretty much it. My final prediction, I think he's just gonna end up staying and just finishing his career with the Cavs. And then, obviously a lot of people, like I said, myself included, right now I think he's the 2nd greatest player of all time. When his career is all said and done, I think he will be the greatest player of all time. But that's pretty much it. As always, thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. It is very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.